2020. Now it's 6:04. Can we please get a roll call to determine quorum, please?
Counselor Peggy Sue Martin. Do you have me? Okay, can you hear me?
You're coming in a little choppy there.
Okay, is that better?
That's a lot better. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem. I'm on a delay. Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim Salazar.
Good evening, I'm present.
Counselor Peggy Sue Martinez. Counselor Dorothy D. Valdez.
Present.
Chairman Manuel J. Martinez.
Present.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Okay, we have the agenda in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have an approval for the agenda?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda, sir.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, can we get a roll call vote for approval, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim Salazar.
For the motion.
Counselor Dorothy D. Valdez.
For the motion.
Chairman Manuel J. Martinez.
For the motion. Motion carries. Now we have approval of community service minutes for June 22nd, 2020. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Let's have a roll call to vote for the approval of the minutes for the June 22nd.
Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim Salazar.
For the motion.
Counselor Dorothy D. Valdez.
In favor.
Chairman Manuel J. Martinez.
In favor of the motion. Okay, do we have any committee member comments at this time?
Mr. Chair, actually, I have none at this time. I just want to thank all of community service staff for all their hard work day in and day out. I know it's been more trying for during COVID, but I just want to relay my appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Valdez.
I want to just repeat what Mayor Pro Tem Salazar said. Thank you for all your hard work and your dedication, especially in these trying times, working from home, part-time.
Thank you. I did have an site that I didn't notice here because it came on my agenda right after C on the same line for public comments. So I would like to at this time go back and allow for public comments. Do we have any city clerk that is there, or do we have any?
No, sir.
Okay, seeing no public comments, I'll go into matters of the chair. I just want to thank everybody for being here this evening, and I want to, of course, thank the staff for all that you guys are doing, especially during this particular time. I know that I believe this area of the city is probably hit one of the most because it's really affected a lot of the programs and activities that the city provides during this time of the year. Swimming pool, swimming, of course, sports, and all the different activities. So I'd like to thank you guys for all that you guys are doing during this particular time and keeping our heads up of what is going on and all that you guys are doing for the community during this time. Thank you, recreational staff and staff of course, the library and all that you guys are doing. Thank you. I'd like to go on to letter H, recommendations for items for full council. This is going to be first with the Mini Olympics Day, August 7th, 2021. And this is with Maria Sandoval, Recreation Supervisor.
Good
Yes,
afternoon,
ma'am.
and thank you, Counselor Manny.
Thank you, ma'am.
The idea on this particular item is to get not necessarily just the city of Espanola and of course ourselves, but the entire city and other organizations or agencies in order to be part of this whole item. If you do have I'm not sure if you do have the mission statement in regards to this particular item, where most of the particular participants are kids between the ages of 5 to 12. And so, of course, the idea is to have each and every child the opportunity to socialize, play, and imagine all these particular, as far as the mini Olympics. What I'm trying to get is these agencies and or volunteers in order to bring in either a team of 15 or more kids. I'm trying to get as many kids as possible from the city and the surrounding communities in order to participate in this particular event. It'll be about 6 or 7 type categories. To name a few, the 50-yard dash, the 100 meter for the older kids, not necessarily including any particular jumping over things, only on in regards to high jump and or long jump, for that matter. But it's something that I'd like to see if whether or not the whole entire community and surrounding communities are willing to come forth in order to have this event. It's a one-day thing from 9 a.m. to almost 6 p.m. I'd like to have the high school, the city, the Espanola Valley High School involved in this, so that we may have this particular venue there. It is going to be hard work, but with a lot of enthusiasm and commitment from everyone else, it is feasible. It can be done. I've done it before. It will take a bit of money. However, there will be letters going out to particular sponsors so that they may be able to give a little bit, especially water, Gatorade, snacks, lunch even. So all of that in regards to spearheading, we will do it with the help of a little bit of others in that, as far as I'm concerned. But for the most part, I'm really psyched up for this particular item, and I wanted to do it this year. But however, knowing that this is going on as far as the COVID, it's okay. There's reasons for it not to be happening as of now. But come 2021, I'm hopeful that this whole thing will definitely take off.
Great. Do we have, would we like to entertain a motion so we can go into discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion for discussion purposes.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, let's go do a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Chair, if I may
Yeah.
ask a couple questions first, if at all possible.
That would be fine, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. Maria, I know on the memo you tentatively planned for August 7th. So I know now that you mentioned COVID, I know that's probably something to be looked at. So are we still possibly planning to look at something this year before it gets cold, or are you kind of leaning more towards 2021? And what exactly is the plan for that? And I know another tentative plan is to have it at Espanola Valley High School. So have you spoke with administrators there, or kind of what's the status on that as well?
Well, first of all, I have not spoken to any administrators there. This particular idea is basically so that all of us are in the same, I want to say in the same boat in order for me to, go outside of us as far as City of Espanola is concerned. So no, there isn't any. And then for your particular information in regards to what will happen before, I know that it's still July, in August, and of course before the year ends. There are things already in mind to get that word out, but I don't want to do it if I don't have everybody's quote unquote blessing. So that's my thing.
Okay, very good. Mr. Chair, if I may follow up, I just want to add that I think it's a great thing for the city of Espanola to spearhead and to start. And of course, it's a great thing for our youth of our community, something very positive, of course, good positive activity. So yeah, I'm in full support of this. I'd just like to add that. Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Council Salazar, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilor Didi Valdez?
Yes, I have questions. I guess just to verify, are you still planning on having it on August 7th? And if so, how are we going to comply with the governor's orders of even wearing a mask outdoors? And since it's physical activities with a mask on, how are the children going to breathe safely?
At this particular point, I'm not even looking forward to August 7th of this year. It would honestly, right now, everything would be incredibly rushed, and something rushed, it's not a good thing to do, to say the least. So I wouldn't even, fathom doing anything this particular August, to say the least. It'll have to be for next year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, councilors? I think this is a great idea that you have. I think this is going to be one of those events that's going to end up also becoming an annual event. I do
Absolutely.
foresee this because I like like Mayor Pro Tem Salazar said, with this is a great opportunity for our youth and to show our youth out there. I just wonder if one day is going to be enough for this particular activity, because if
Basically
you might,
not. It is not, definitely not.
I can foresee a lot of children wanting to get involved in this. And, so I just hope you're prepared for the possibility that this might be more of a weekend instead of a one day,
Right.
so that might be something to look at to see if you want to prepare for that. Just for in case, because I do foresee, especially considering how this year has really kept everybody home through the summer and through events. I foresee next summer is going to be a complete different story. People are going to want to get out. People are going to want to do things. And especially when it comes to their children, they're really going to want to participate in such activities. So, but I think it's a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea.
And I am definitely very aware that we may get more than 200 kids. I'm expecting 300 plus next year, and therefore definitely the idea is to move it Saturday, Sunday, even probably starting Friday all the way to Sunday. So, but I'm definitely how do I say this? Very, very hopeful in regards to all the enthusiasm and the kids coming in. That's not an issue there. It's just a matter of us, as far as you're stating, Councilor Manny, being prepared, and I'm preparing for that, definitely.
Great. I know I can say that you're giving yourself plenty of time to organize this, get the sponsorships and of course money down that you're going to be needing for this. So that, I'm really glad that you're giving yourself plenty of time for that. So do we have any other comments from any other counselors, sir? Madam? Nope. Okay, let's go ahead and take a vote to push this as a recommendation to full council. for the Mini Olympics Day, which would be tentatively August 7th, 2021. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim Salazar,
For the motion.
Councilor Dorothy D. Valdez,
In favor.
Chairman Manuel J. Martinez.
In favor as well. So the motion passes. Let's go ahead and move this to recommendation to full council. Next, we have on letter H, number 3, a mural of Rodolfo Anaya on the library's wall. It's also recommendation to full council, Ms. Dora Terrazas. And Mr. Luis Peña.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Peña here wanted to actually do a mural on the library. We got together and we checked out a few of the walls that he might be interested in doing it, either inside or outside. And I think his best choice, I think he said, would be the best thing is kind of putting a canvas up on one of the walls. But I'll let him go ahead and explain, you know, his ideas and what he wanted to do. Mr. Peña?
Thank you, Ms. Terrazas. Good evening, everybody. My
Good
name is
evening.
Luis Peña, and I appreciate the opportunity to present this proposal that we have here for creating a public art project at the Lucero Center, emphasizing the Chicano culture and work of Rodolfo Anaya. As many of you know, Mr. Anaya passed away on June 28th. He's a celebrated New Mexico author, famous for books like Bless Mi Ultima, Heart of Aslan, among others. And Mr. Anaya devoted his life to creating fiction that highlights Chicano culture. And so we thought it would be appropriate to create a mural somewhere in Española that would honor his memory. As part of this project, I'll be mentoring a young artist from Santa Clara, Maya Peña, who also happens to be my daughter. So she has created the design that you can see here on the agenda packet. And we are in the process of speccing out not only supplies, but location. So we met with Ms. Terrazas and kind of gave her a lay of the land on what it is we're looking at doing. So this mural, we're looking at an approximate size of 8 feet by 12 feet or greater. We're looking to leverage wood panel and acrylic paint. And the location, after doing the walkthrough with Ms. Terrazas, that we have in mind is the north-facing wall near the main entrance to the Lucero Center. We have completed fundraising to pay for the supplies for the mural. And at this point, what we're requesting, other than support, is the assistance of the City of Espanola in creating mounting brackets of some sort or hardware so that we can install the panels when the mural is complete. And then in addition to that, we're requesting access to some sort of temporary studio space where we can work on the large panels. There'll be 3 artists involved. We're all from the same household and have recently been tested negative for COVID-19. We'll be using masks, gloves, and following all best practice for minimizing risk. And we are looking at a projected start date pending full council approval of July 28th through August 28th. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the project.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peña. At this point in time, I'd like to ask for a motion so that for discussion.
For discussion purposes, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any comments or questions from the Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you so much, sir. I guess first question is probably for Dora and maybe our city manager, Javier Martinez. What Mr. Luis Peña is requesting, is that something that you are recommending as well that the city would be able to do? The request from Mr. Peña.
We have met together. We actually said that it was pretty doable. we talked with Sherry as well as far as the locations and where he can actually do his work. I suggested that he can probably do the pieces there at the senior center. There were actually closed to the public, and that would give him a lot of the time to be, keeping his supplies and paints and whatever else he's going to need away from the public, and which will be only him and his daughter. So it's pretty safe now with the COVID stuff that we have going on. I don't see a problem with it. Talking with Sherry, she was thrilled with the idea as well too.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Dora. Mr. Chair, if I may follow up on that. Thank you, sir. Mr. Pena, I would just like to highly commend you and everybody else involved for this. Rodolfo Anaya is a legend, in New Mexico and, throughout the nation, and it's a great loss, now that he passed away, but he's definitely left his mark. And of course, with Mr. Anaya passing away in June, and for you to be able to jump on this, I think it's a great honor for the city of Espanola to be able to have something like this and so soon too. So I like to state I'm in full support of this, and I, thank you all for leading that effort. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilor Didi Valdez, any comments, ma'am, or questions?
I have no questions at this time, but I think that mural at the library is going to be perfect for the occasion. He's a famous author. I'm sure the Espanola Library has many of his books, and I really appreciate how quickly it's going to be done, and I'm glad we have the facilities that we can accommodate him. Everything's positive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor. I'd just like to echo my fellow councilors. Mr. Pena, thank you so much for bringing this to the forefront for you and your daughter and your family. I think this is a great honor for Espanola to have this, and I couldn't think of a better place than our library to showcase this beautiful piece of work. Also, I just want to ask again, just to make sure with our city manager, I'm glad we have a venue that he'll be able to work at. But as far as the other requests of anchoring and anything else that would be needed, would we have any issues with the city helping in any way on that part, sir?
Councilor, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, this is Javier Martinez. Mr. Chair, can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So I believe there wouldn't be any issue. I know that we can coordinate with our general services director to see about this. That expense would be very minimal in regards to the brackets as far as the size. And I just want to clarify, I believe it's the size that we're looking at is 8 foot by 12 foot. That's going to be easily mounted to that wall. I have no issues. I think that we can very easily accommodate that.
Thank you, sir. Again, Mr. Pena, thank you so much for what you're doing, for what you and your family are doing. And I think this is a great honor that we can bestow on Mr. Anaya for of course, bringing New Mexico to the forefront when it comes to his books. And I would like to hope that Miss Sherry would also, if what books that she may not have on stock as far as in our library, Mr. Anaya, that we can see what we can do to make sure we have all his works in our library available for our citizens to come and look at. And again, thank you so much, sir. So with that, let's go ahead and take a roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim Salazar,
For the motion.
Councilor Dorothy D. Valdez,
For the motion.
Chairman Manuel J. Martinez.
For the motion, so we will be moving the mural of Rodolfo Anaya on the library wall, recommended to full council. Thank you. And thank you again, Mr. Pena.
Thank you very much. I got to say, this is a great opportunity to mentor a very talented young artist. At 20 years old, Maya is at least a million times more talented than her dad has ever tried to be. And so it's a great opportunity to kind of show her the ropes of, how to pass these sort of things through council and agenda and submitting proposals. But in addition to that, I have been a long supporter of the Espanola Public Library. I think it's one of the finest libraries in northern New Mexico. And I've always had great interactions with the staff there, the poetry that they've held over the years. And I agree with you, Councilor Manny. There's no better location for this mural than in the city of Espanola. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to make a request if possible that maybe pictures could be taken throughout the duration of this mural so that we can kind of get an idea of all the work that it entails, and maybe you could put a collage of photos to present to the city council once it's completed, sir.
Consider it done.
Thank you so much. Well, let's go ahead and move on to department reports. Community Services Director Overview, Community Services Department, Interim, Ms. Dora Terefas.
Mr. Chair, members of the council, for the community service, there's not a whole lot. It's business as usual. We are very low key due to the COVID timeframe that we have right now. I don't really have a whole lot to report on as far as the departments. We have canceled all the events that we had for over the summer, just following the protocol of the governor and for our city manager as well. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be welcome to try and answer those.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, City Manager Martinez.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. So I'll go ahead and add just a few items in regards to community services. I'll give an update in regards to the position that we are filling, the community services director. So I'm proud to announce that Mr. Scott Frost has accepted the offer, and he will begin working for the city on August 3rd. Mr. Frost comes from right now from Taos County. He currently is the facilities manager there, but he has an extensive knowledge with recreation and parks. He has a plethora of knowledge and experience coordinating softball leagues. That's a good thing here. He's also in charge of facility rentals for the Taos County, so that he brings all that experience here. He's very knowledgeable, and we're looking at having him on board, like I say, on August 3rd, and we will definitely he'll be a great asset to the city. Also, I just want to add real quick that we're looking at moving forward to encumber some of the 2019 capital outlay that was recently released. I believe for the 300,000 that was allocated for Valdez Park. We're looking to move forward on that with a facility build and Mr. Jeff Sargent. Also, the project with CDBG grant at Ranchitos Park, we're looking to move forward on that. We're looking at putting out bids here within the next month to proceed with that one as well. So I just wanted to add that to the committee.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions for City Manager Martinez? Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and move forward. Let's bring on Miss Sherry Aragon for Espanola Public Library.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, let's try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go right ahead.
So Sherry is out today. We have business as usual. We're providing grab and go bags for the kids in the community. They just need to call, and we also provide curbside pickup in case they do not want to come into the library. So they do have that option of coming in, or we take the books and the grab and go kits, the crafts to their cars. So there's less contact with our patrons and they have less contact with us. Nothing's really changed. It's just been business as usual.
Thank you. Do we have any questions, counselors?
I have a question about how many lunches are we passing out daily?
We are not doing the summer lunches at all this year. So what we're providing is grab and go bags, which are craft kits.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought they were lunches.
No,
And how many grab and go arts and crafts kits do you give out?
so we have gave out, I believe it's at 53 is our total, not including what was done as of last week, Wednesday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor Pro Tem, do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir, Mr. Chair, none at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Library Staff, for all that you're doing. Keep up the good work.
welcome.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Let's go ahead and bring Ms. Maria Sandoval back for the Lucero Center Recreational Facility for the updates.
Thank you, Chair Councilman Manny. May and June kind of coincided with each other. Definitely, obviously, revenue is not there. But most of all is, I guess, in this particular instance, is not necessarily about revenue. It's in regards to keeping healthy, and a lot of our patrons are understanding that. Some are not, and we're having quite a bit of time with our teenagers, to say the least. But as far as the pool is concerned, everybody wants to come in. So one of the things that I know, maybe some of you know and maybe not, but at least 1 hour. So we do open, as you know, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 11, and we'd have it hour for hour, where everyone can have 1 hour to come and swim, and that's lap swimming. And so they basically would call us, or during that day, they can reserve the lane. So there's only 6 lanes. So each lane is basically taken care of. On an average, after 1 o'clock, because we close at 11, so we can disinfect the whole entire, well, not necessarily the library does their own, but we disinfect with that hour, and then we take our lunch and come back at 1 o'clock in order to restart the whole thing. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, before closing, and one of the things that we're doing is we shut down showers. We don't let anyone shower. And technically, you're not supposed to, because it's supposed to be a health issue. However, we are having our young CPO certified Andrew Medina, which I really thank a lot for stepping up to fill in the shoes that the aquatics coordinator left. And he is keeping that pool a little bit above in regards to chlorine levels, so that it can disinfect there as well. So that's happening after everybody swims. So again, at 3 o'clock, we have family swim, which means family who lives together, 2, maybe 3. Right now it has been only up to 4, and they only have the pool for themselves at 4 o'clock. That's it, bottom line. So that it's happening, and people are pretty much really good about that, and a little bit of word getting out, and a little bit of posting it on our webpage, and as well as Facebook. So the numbers are not really up there at all, and it's understandable due to what is happening right now. Not everybody wants to come in and wear a mask and work out like fiends. Everybody's like, I'm not going there. But some of the ones that are, doing it, they're okay with it. And at least we like that. We don't have to shoo them out, constantly put your mask on, right, or whatever. A lot of our activities, as Dora was mentioning, with a lot of the things that are happening as far as sports wise, yeah, all of them are canceled, even the fall sports. If let's say, for instance, September or even October, November, usually October, November, we still have some tournaments going on as far as softball. They may or may not happen. Who knows? Especially the Thanksgiving tournament, which is an annual event that happens, where a lot of the quote unquote teams bring in a basket, 2 baskets of food, and then we deliver to needy families. And I would hate for that not to happen, but we do have to take it into consideration, the order still. As far as any other particular items, such as the some of the positions that we do have available, and I know that I'm the clerk position is being frozen at this particular time frame, which is okay. And then the aquatics coordinator and the lifeguard positions are still open. And as we know, it's hard to get them, but I have contacted, or I have contact with Mr. Tomas. At this particular point, the last name is escaping me at this point. He comes from Santa Fe. He teaches at the Santa Fe Community College. So he is going to be one of the ones that can help us out to have classes and or lifeguarding classes to have lifeguard certifications. I, for one, have been trying to get certified, and then all of a sudden, aquatics coordinator leaves, and then I don't get certified. But other than that, so far, we're doing everything we can in order to have everybody sort of happy, sort of not. But we test them, well, not test them, but we screen them as they come in through the doors. Some of them like it and some of them don't. So, it's an everyday trial and error, and we're doing our best. And so, here's to continuing and finding out if whether or not this COVID portion is going to be over sometime soon. Who knows?
Well, we can only
Thank you.
hope. Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments, counselors? Mayor Pro Tem,
None at this time, sir. Thank you.
Counselor Didi Valdez?
No, I just want to thank Maria. It sounds like you're doing the best with what you have. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Same here. You guys are doing a great job. I do just have a question for the family swim. Do they have to make a reservation with you to sign up for that, or how does that work?
Mostly they don't, because it's word of mouth. So when they come in, we just tell them, come back next tomorrow, or we do. Then when they come in and they don't get a chance to swim, then they do have to reserve it, and that's okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
You're-
much. Next, we're going to go on to the Beatriz Martinez Senior Center with updates with Ms. Dora Terrazas.
Mr. Chair, members of the council, for the senior center, we have our revenue from May. This one, as you can see, we have a little bit more of a revenue this year versus last year. This year we have $3,277, and last year we had $2,884. Of course, our the rest of the rental revenues are canceled because of the COVID, so we still do have the Mesa rental and the AAs that are doing the office rentals here at the senior center. We are still open to the public as far as serving the lunches. They come and they pick them up as a drive-by, so we are still closed for the public to come inside. This month, in June and July, our revenues are probably going to come down a little bit due to a plumbing issue that we are working on this month. So hopefully we'll get that fixed pretty soon. That's about it. Business as usual for this few months now that we go through this COVID issues. Any questions, anybody?
Thank you. Any questions, counselors? Nope. How about Counselor Didi Valdez?
No, not at this time.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dora. Well, great job, guys. It looks like we've come down to the end of our meeting. That was pretty darn fast, I think. I can see Mayor Pro Tem smiling over there. So our next meeting is for August 17th. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, sir.
All right, do I have a second? I don't think we need a second on that. Thank you guys so much. I guess we'll see you tomorrow, counselors, for the finance board meeting. So you guys all have a great evening. Be safe.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The heck do I get out of here? Bye.